ladies and gentlemen, in this video, I'm going to break down how you should go about hiring a ads agency. Now, specifically, we're going to be talking about a paid search agency here, Google, Bing ads, YouTube ads, things like that. But I'm also going to cover a few things that you need to know about hiring a paid social agency. So Facebook, whatever else, creative maybe, an email SMS agency, etc., etc. Okay, so strap yourself in. This is going to be a very, very valuable video for yourself as a brand owner. Okay, so let's jump into it. Now, first things first, question one, should I hire an agency? It's a pretty important question to get started with. So I've got my whiteboard here and I'm going to break down some of these questions for you, okay? Should I hire? You've got a couple of options. First things first, you could do it yourself. You could run your own ads, but that's a pretty huge time commitment, right? And as a brand owner, you've obviously got a lot of things to worry about. You've got to run the business as a whole, manage the team, look at the finances, P&Ls. You've got to make sure that, you're getting in, your stock's good, all of this stuff. And so that's a massive time commitment because to do ads properly, you've got to dedicate a couple of hours a day to it, in our opinion. That's across probably all of the ads channels, granted. But when it comes to Google, we're in probably our accounts for at least 30 minutes to an hour a day. And that's not talking about launching new campaigns or launching accounts. That takes a lot of time, okay? And the problem is the growth of the brand when it comes to ads, at least, is it stops with you, right? The business suffers if you mess up, right? The business suffers if you don't continue to enhance your learning. The business suffers if you don't know a specific thing and that actually thing ends up costing you a bunch of money. It's not an ideal situation. And eventually you're kind of working in your own business rather than on it, right? You're kind of working as a media buyer in your own brand. That's not to hate on anyone currently running their own ads. It's obviously a pretty smart solution if you're just getting up and running and started. But eventually when you want to scale, when you want to start upping spend to pretty serious levels, right? Where you can't really afford mistakes and you can't really afford to not know things, or you want to scale the brand in other ways and that requires your focus, then it makes a lot of sense to have a partner come in and help you scale. Someone that does the whole thing for you, very done for you, someone that has a good offer, a good guarantee, where they actually say, hey, look, if we don't do a better job than you, or we don't make you profitable, you don't pay us, right? I think if a brand doesn't have that, or an agency doesn't have that, then they might not be confident in their results, okay? You want someone to come in really as your partners, okay? So that's the first thing, should you do it yourself? Well, no, you shouldn't. The second thing is full service agencies, right? Now, what do I mean by this? This is something I've had a very big pet peeve with for a while. A full service agency is an agency that does everything. Paid ads, paid social, paid search, email SMS, SEO, content creation, creative, website, CRO. Like, they do all of these different things for hundreds of different clients, and they end up having actually quite surface level knowledge of the services they offer. Not only that, but they have so many clients to deliver these services to that really they end up skipping out on hiring the best people because their profit margins are so thin in a big agency like that they really want to get away with hiring the cheapest talent that they can. Okay, because as I say, they've got 300, 400 clients and they're delivering tens of different services for these clients. So they would have to hire a lot of different people to manage that. And so if they want to stay profitable, well, they've got to cheap out on the talent. So usually your account's getting handled by a junior media buyer, worst case scenario, an offshore VA. Okay, so I've heard horror stories, trust me. Really, if you want to get the best results, you should work with partners who have a very deep knowledge on one thing, right? Or one area, because if you don't work with people like that, then you're not going to get the best results. It's very simple. Specialist agencies have fewer clients to deliver their service to, and they're going to deliver the service in-house, and they're going to deliver it ideally with very, very good talent, okay? Because it's in their interest to do so. I always dissuade brand owners from working with big full service agencies. Now, the pushback I get to that is like, well, then I've got to have all these different agencies juggling all these different people working for me, and it gets complicated. And how do they sync up and how do they all work together? Well, there's a very simple solution, and it's the answer. The answer is you actually don't need that many agencies, right? When it comes to, talking about paid marketing here, not even paid marketing in general, right? I can't really speak on operations or finance, but let's just talk about marketing. So what agencies do you need, okay? Instead of a full service agency, in my books, you would need probably a paid social agency. Now, a lot of brand owners we work with, they actually run their Facebook ads themselves, and that's cool because they started with it. They don't really know Google very well, which is obviously what we do at the paid search company. We do Google and Bing ads for our clients. They actually just want to take their foot off the pedal, or not off the pedal, but work on the business, not be a media buyer, etc. Then they're probably gonna have a paid social agency. Now, I think this paid social agency should be doing creative, okay? With Google and Bing ads, creative isn't that important. It just isn't. All right, you can scale an account to 100K a month plus with media buying pretty much and basic product images. But when it comes to Facebook ads, TikTok ads, whatever, creative is king. And so I think it makes a lot of sense for this paid social agency. If they just do Facebook ads, if they do Facebook, TikTok, Pinterest, etc., whatever it is, they should really be doing creative as well. Okay, and if they're not, then you might want to consider switching partners, because just running Facebook ads on their own, I don't know how valuable that is, because at the end of the day, people are just setting Facebook ads to broad, no specific targeting going on. And so, I think there also needs to be a big sync between Facebook ads agencies and creative, okay? Because creative is king, creative is your targeting, etc., etc. So there you're only working with one agency for those two things, right? Obviously, in our unbiased opinion, you need a paid search agency, okay? Now, I'll be honest, paid social should probably come first, right? If you're not running any Facebook ads right now and you run it on Google, I'd say run Facebook first, because you're going to be getting a lot of people to get to know your products and your brand, and that it's going to make paid search a lot easier, all right? And that's what I tell pretty much everyone who hops on a call with me. So your second agency probably should be a paid search agency, because this has the potential to literally double the revenue in your business, right? We've worked with brands that have been doing 100K a month on Facebook, and we've helped them get to an extra 100K a month in revenue on Google in a couple of months, okay? It's not to be slept on. And the agency you should work with should do Google and Bing ads. Why? Because they're the same thing, right? They're the same thing, just on different platforms. Very easy to move Google over to Bing, and you can get an extra 20 or 30% ROI, right? Bing ads are super, super awesome, and I think they're definitely underappreciated. Google and Bing. And then you should hire some kind of a retention agency, right? Because you're getting all of these eyeballs and all of these, all of these purchases from these, acquisition channels here, but you're going to make a lot of money retaining these purchases and making money on the back end, right? You've already got the sale. They already like your product and your brand. So let them know when you're dropping a new product, or let them know when you're running a sale or whatever. I'm no email marketing expert myself, but from what I've heard, brand owners, anyone, it's quite hard to run, email Klaviyo effectively. So I highly recommend working with a retention agency. And so there you've got pretty much the entire suite of marketing covered with like 3 agencies. So it's not that big of a deal. And as well, if you're working with the right agencies, then they're probably going to be happy to communicate with each other. You should actually work with an agency that has, firstly is open to communicate with other people, of course, but also has a network of other agencies that they can recommend you to, because, it's obviously all of these things in isolation aren't going to be as powerful as they are together. All right. So that's that. You've also got the option of hiring an in-house team, right? If you're making a bit more money, maybe over 50K a month or whatever, or probably more than that, 100K a month plus, I'd say minimum, to hire an in-house team. You can just hire your own media buyers, right? Get them in-house. They only work on your account. Sounds great. But they're going to probably be about 10 times more expensive than a good agency. From what I've seen, at least, if you want top tier in-house media buyers who are really good, and you've got multiple of them, it's probably going to set you back 200 to 300K a year. All right, I don't think that's too controversial to say. Working with an agency is going to be far cheaper than that. It's going to be far less admin, because you don't have to manage a team, do paperwork, do all of that stuff, because the agency is an independent entity. The other thing as well that I've noticed is that with an in-house team, they kind of get tunnel vision. They're not sharpening their skills with other accounts, seeing what's going on in the wider landscape. They're just running your ads, and so they get worse and worse over time. Whereas with an agency, we obviously have access to a bunch of different accounts. We can see things coming before they arrive. All right. So, it's a big advantage there. Now, number 2 is some kind of credibility, right? Some kind of a certification of some sort. I suppose this doesn't matter too much. I think probably doesn't matter as much as you think it might, but it's still important. Obviously we're Google partners. It's important that whatever agency you work with is partnered in some capacity with the service provider that they kind of are experts right? I think that's pretty important. Okay. Now, I'm definitely going to have to rub some of this out, because I've kind of ambitiously filled this up. But the third thing is case studies. Okay, so similar to certification, although I'd say this is about 10 times more important, you should work with an agency that has good case studies, okay? Because your business depends on it, right? You need to work with someone who's done this time and time again. And specifically, someone who's gotten results, whether it's paid search, paid social, email, SMS, in your niche, okay? So if you're a pet care brand, don't work with someone who's never worked with a pet care brand before. Or if you're a furniture brand, don't work with someone who's never worked with a furniture brand before. Because within e-com, you've got all these different niches, and these niches behave very differently when it comes to ads and retention and all these things. So make sure you partner with an agency that has direct experience with you. Okay, the next thing is reporting, right? I know that sounds really boring, but stick with me. So, how are you going to agree that they're doing a good job? That's a really important thing. How are you going to agree that your agency, whether it's Facebook ads, email SMS, SEO, Google ads, whatever it is, how are you all going to agree, yourself and the agency, that they are doing a good job, right? Well, typically what the agency is going to do is they're going to send you reports, right? Weekly basis, bi-weekly, whatever it is. And you need to agree on a specific set of metrics that actually matter to your business, okay? There's a bit of a fallacy here because marketers, they love to focus on ROAS, all right? ROAS. And ROAS is a relatively reliable indication of things going in the right way or the wrong way, but it's not the whole picture, right? It's not profit. That's the first thing. And it's also not always going to be super accurate because, in the case of paid ads agencies, Facebook and Google, they like to attribute as much of the sales to themselves as possible. And so they like to inflate their ROAS in the platform, okay? So it's very important that the agency you work with, they look at metrics like MER, right, which is media efficiency ratio. When it comes to things like paid ads, at least that's important. They want to actually understand how much they're acquiring new customers for. You should be able to ask your agency, hey, what is our CAC? How much are we acquiring new customers for right now? And they should be able to give you an answer. And so it's very, very important you work with an agency that knows their numbers and knows what success truly is for an e-com brand. Now, the fifth thing is comms, right? I think the idea that over communication even exists. I mean, I guess it technically exists, but I think it's BS. Like, I really don't think you can communicate value enough to your clients. Checking in with them at the start of each week, saying, hey, look, here's what's been going on over the weekend. Here's what we've got going on for this week. Happy Monday. Let us know if we can help. Check in middle of the week. Hey, look, here are the projects that we wanted to, we started on Monday. Here's how they're going. Let us know if you need anything or, if you have any comments. And then Friday, report for the week. Boom. I mean, that's only 3 times a week, right? Between that, you obviously want to be doing, answering any questions, just making sure they're okay, right? I think there are too many agencies that are just ghosts. You should ask the agency, hey, look, how do you communicate? What's your communication style like? Are we going to be in Slack? Is it going to be over email? If it's anything to do with email or WhatsApp, you should run the other way. If you're working with a mature agency, they should be working in Slack. I mean, there's Basecamp, there's a few other options, but it relatively almost always should be within some kind of agile communication software. And then the final point here is culture, okay? Is the agency fun to work with? Is it a young team? Is it a switched on team? Is it a team with good experience? It doesn't have to be a young team. It can be an older team, but I say young just because, younger people in the game have obviously kind of grown up with things like Facebook, paid ads, paid software. And so we kind of have a very good understanding of it. And that's just one example. But just make sure that the culture's good. Are they remote? Are they office-based? Again, there's no right answer. It's just good to know. What is their culture like? Can they explain it? How are they going to treat you? Because at the end of the day, you want it to be a good, positive experience working with this agency. You want it to be fun and, you want to feel like you're growing with them. That is everything for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. It would really mean the world to me. And please let me know down below what videos, paid ads, paid marketing, e-com related you'd like to see. If you are interested in running Google Ads, my team will create an action plan completely free for you. No questions asked. All you have to do is click the first link in the description, hop on a quick question call with myself, and then my team will go away and build you a 90-day action plan for running or improving and scaling your existing Google Ads so that you can make more money with your brand. All right. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.